I was born in Riga, actually.
In Riga?
Yeah. I grew up in an artist family. My both parents are painters. And maybe from this point of view, I also attended the art school, but somehow it was the way how to know what I don't want to do. Because I really...
Painter?
Yeah. I like I painted like and drawed for 6 years in the art school, and from this point of view, in the end, I simply know that I didn't want to do it in this way. At that time, it was really surprising that also I first went to some exhibitions abroad. It was completely new. Also, the possibility that there wasn't such information flow, maybe as it's right now, but also the present works that you actually realize what are the way and language that you can speak, and that was simply I was curious, and so I started to, besides like regular life, really like experiment a lot and do some things that maybe convinced me more become like an artist. There is really strong tradition for classical arts, for painting and such things. For contemporary art, there is not really like an art scene.
Have you ever had the idea to leave Riga?
No, not really. You want to make some kind of career, but it's only one point of your life. So for me it's a really difficult question, I think, also right now, because I really see that it's really developing into this direction, but I really would like to stay and work in Latvia, but it's, of course, it's quite also egoistic to do it like that, because it's really like I haven't any art scene over there, and so it's doing almost like yourself. But somehow I think this kind of things you really pay attention and give some value really when you are away. So it's yeah, I really miss I think the countryside of the Latvia, because it's really like I think all the population lives in the city, and the countryside is really not developed, and it's really like some kind of things that it's not present here anymore, and that's probably gives a lot of inspiration also to think about it as well. The art also what I'm doing is about, it's quite related to the identity and the place where I'm coming from, and
now the identity is changing here in Ghent, or? No,
I think it's quite. I simply maybe I'm a bit aware how it's maybe looks from a side, because when you are there, then it's really like you are too close to that and too into that, and you can actually maybe don't see this difference. It's actually also not that you simply start from the blank page, because previous work what I had done together with my wife, she's also artist, and I work tandem also with her. And it was the work what we done previous year and also installed right now. I can show also some documentation of it. It's around taking care, and it's called Care Things. And it's around some kind of ways how people actually maybe maintain some things. For example, if the house is the leaking roof, they install some water buckets to somehow prepare the floors from flooding. And then, and also it's maybe the same thing how if they want to grow the plants in the house, they also make conditions that it will be possible for plant to grow it in the sense of the light and humidity and so on. And they take care about it, and it also relates to the other part of the thing, that actually in the process of taking care, they also take care of themselves as well. So it's something about that as well. And it's really this kind of raining thing comes somehow partly that I continue to explore with with the water. Right now I really clarify them and really, so right now this work will be more about maybe the same thing, how the work itself develops, or also emotional level, how actually the things come together, also for the rain. There is like the gathering, there's some clouds, and it comes to some kind of critical point that it's ready and it rains, and it's a lot of ways how you can sew it. And right now it will be this kind of regular office room that also has the exhibition space, like these small rooms, like it was used as offices before. And this office ceiling that also has this pattern of small dots over that. And some of them will time to time will rain as it will seems like some kind of natural things or real things, but it's really, you can see also that it's some kind of phantom-like structures. And our thoughts also comes in the same way together to one point, and sometimes you also, for example, cry as well, and it's something similar. I like quite a lot to work really with the materials, with my hands, and I think in this way, and so a lot of things really become in such a way, and it's a lot of things that really develop with the struggling with the material or resistance of some things. Yeah, I like that actually it's more from the observing things, that actually if you see the construction side, then you actually, if you close, then it seems quite natural, or you don't pay attention, but it's really like everything, how it's somehow used to do, or how it's laid, it's really like sometimes quite magical for me. And especially if you bring it out from the context, then you actually start to recognize it. And also in this studio practice is the same, that you actually do some usual things, but then in one moment it actually you start to fix that it's actually maybe the thing, that not to really go too far away, then it's losing some kind of this kind of things that maybe it's essential for. Sometimes I also like that art have this a bit blurred boundary between that you're seeing that it's the art or not art, or it's part, and it's somehow involves you and you're curious and questioning. And also I like a lot of things that it's really like in the first you maybe don't deny them or really you can get, but it's really somehow sticks to you, and you start to think about that more and more and question things, and then it's really something that it's maybe can be taken so easy, but it's good to think about it again, and so somehow chose you, not you chose that it's the. For me, yeah, that's I always like to leave. It's not really like finished, or it's one part of the thing that I like somehow this. It seems more like in the never-ending process of the things. And sometimes if you enter the studio of the painter and then you afterwards see simply the painting in the exhibition space, then you sometimes think that it's something that's missing for the artwork as well. And I think it's a problem, I think, for a lot of artworks as well, that becomes, when for example, you see them already in the museums and becomes some kind of history, then it's really already something is gone, or when it's alive and the artists are talking in these days about the situation they're doing, and you feel this, then it's really like you live with that. Maybe that's, I think, from one point of view, in museums is more comfortable because it's somehow the subject is prepared for you, and it's already something that you're already knowing that you will enter and see some artworks. And otherwise, it's really, you should try harder, and sometimes it's a lot more disappointments, but it's also a lot of more of satisfaction when you really find out some miracles in places. That's quite instinct, really, to see the things that maybe it's not really art, or maybe it becomes art or will be in the museums, but it's really alive and new, that it's not from this point of view. I like the contemporary life as it is.